Hello everyone and welcome to Killing for Days and as the young season, actually pre-season 9 Nasus guy. I've been playing Nasus for about 4 or 5 seasons. He's been my most played for 3 of the last 4 seasons. But I'm just going to make a quick guide going over, this part of the guide is going to be over the itemization, the runes. The second part of the guide I'm going to make later is going to be some gameplay and going over decision making in game. But I'm going to begin now just going over the abilities of Nasus. So Nasus' Q, it's every time you kill an enemy you gain extra 3 damage to it. Keep stacking it, getting more damage. So it's the way of the cane, the way of the gates. Start flexing on kids if you get good enough to get some high numbers of stacks. W, the Wither, slows their movement speed. It's usually it's better against when you're dueling with 1v1 duels mostly. And also late game, try to hit the 80 carry is pretty good if you could do that. It also reduces the target's attack speed by half of the slow percent, and if you max this out, it gains over time, and by the time you max out, it's 99% slow at the end of the slow duration. So really cucks kids, makes them they feel like it's basically rooted at the end of it. Now time for the E, it's Spirit Fire. Burst, then damage over time, AoE. It also lowers their armor by 1%. And usually you want to use that in chain with your Q, where you would throw your Spirit Fire, then Q, or Spirit Fire, then auto attack, reset Q. And finally your ultimate, Fury of the Sands. You gain a flat amount of health, you gain a flat amount of armor and magic resist, and then you also gain armor and magic resist every second that is activated. You also have a percent health, magic damage around you. It also, when you activate it, it makes your Q cooldown half. So usually late game you're around a 2.2 second cooldown with your Q. When you're activating your ult, it then becomes a 1.1 second, and you can just keep spamming it late game. This is what makes Nasus a real late game monster. Now Soul Eater is passive. It grants some bonus life steal. Starts at 10%, then slowly scales up to I think around 20%. And that's his abilities. Now I'm gonna go over the runes for Nasus. So the basic runes, there's many things you can run on Nasus, so I'll show you the 3 main routes. So there's one route in Grasp the Undying. If you're going melee, matchup melee v melee, and you think you'll trade a lot early on, Grasp the Undying, you get it stacked up. Every time you proc it every 4 seconds, you gain bonus HP and steal all their health. If you're going this route, you would do the Demolish, which will give you an extra split pushing ability. Scales off your max health, the amount of damage you do to turrets. Then next, you do Conditioning. You can also do Bone Plating if you have a... Actually, all 3 of them are actually, you can run situationally. Second Wind. It makes it so if you're like poke lane Teemo, you run this Endurance Shield, it makes it Teemo really hard to poke you out of lane. You have so much extra regen from after taking damage with this. Bone Plating, more survivability in lane, good against Rivens mostly. Pantheon at the time, well, I'd rather run Second Wind against Pantheons, but good against all in champions, Bone Plating. And then if you got a lane that is not going to be difficult early, you run Conditioning. The extra armor magic resist and percent armor magic resist is very good on Nasus. Also scales with your ultimate percent. Then for your last slot, you choose Overgrowth. Gain bonus health, monsters die near you, or meaning monsters die near you. Stacks up to a couple hundred late game. But sometimes you run flinching if they have a lot of CC. Keeps you healthy, or keeps you from getting kited late game, especially when you're trying to get on 80 carries. Secondary runes, very wide amount of options. Usually you run sorcery, inspiration, sorcery. You run, there's too many options, but Nimbus Cloak's good. When you cast your ult, you gain most movement speed. Or you're going against high magic damage lanes that you can get killed in. Nullifying Orb, Transcendence, CDR, Celerity, movement speed, and also Gathering Storm's okay. Usually running Nimbus Cloak, Transcendence, or Nimbus Cloak. Celerity is best. For your extra runes, you extra bonus things or offense or whatever. Usually run Adaptive Force. Then you run either armor, magic resist, depending on what the lane is. You run health, armor, magic resist, just depending on the lane. If you're going heavy physical damage lane, you armor, not magic resist. You can run, if it's a free lane, you could run Adaptive Force if you were feeling it. You also have an option to go down the sorcery route where you run Phase Rush, run Nimbus Cloak. You get the same option as before, Celerity or Transcendence if you want cooldown or movement speed. Then you can run at the bottom, usually Gathering Storm, one rocking situationally, but usually Gathering Storm, straight extra damage late game. Then what you can do, you can either go this route or you do the tanky route if you're feeling like you're going to get damaged. Do some of the stuff, that combination of the stuff we discussed earlier. Or another option is if you want to be greedy, go for the free boots at 10 and then the extra movement speed. This is or extra CDR. This is a risky build because you can't get your boots early and you're very vulnerable to ganks early. And the CDR helps you with the stacking. And we already discussed the extra bonuses. And then finally, precision. Your options mostly is Conquer. If you're going against tanky targets, go Conquer. Rarely press the attack if you're going against bruisers that don't build a lot of armor. The Conquer, the extra 3 damage shred helps shred, so most of the time it's better. Then you run Triumph, situationally overheal. The Triumph let you get out of situations where in team fights or going against multiple enemies, you live with a sliver and heal a little bit. You want Tenacity. Then you also want the Executing Low Health. Then for your other options, you could choose any combination of these 3. Domination doesn't really have that much to offer. Taste of Blood in Ultimate Hunter is, you know, if you want to switch things up, always an option, but don't really recommend. Rather get cooldown reduction. That's it for the runes for Nasus. And now for the items. Yeah. There we go. Items. 90% of the time, or should I say 80% of the time, Thorn Shield gives you the extra regen, really helps in lane. You want to just try to survive in lane. You want to scale and not get poked out. If you start getting poked out or start getting killed, it makes the game a lot rougher. But if you just got to go even in lane, then outscale. So go Thorn Shield, don't get poked out. Other options, situationally, if you're going against physical damage dealers, going against Ravens, sometimes you can go Cloth Armor. Then you run 4 potions also, just to give you the extra sustain. That's the main 2 starting items. Afterwards, you just want to try to get your 40% cooldown as fast as possible. Single gem, good item to buy. You want to make sure you get your Sheen as early as possible. If you're building into the Frozen Heart, or you want what was it? If you want Frozen Heart, or you're going for scaling into, forgot the item name. The Righteous Glory, there it is. Yeah, Righteous Glory. Because Righteous Glory good at running and down people. Usually you get that after you finish your Triforce. You want to finish your Triforce first. Gives you the extra damage, gives you the movement speed on hit. And the Spellblade passive is very good on Nasus, considering that it's about the cooldown of your Q. So you can proc it constantly. When you go into lane, like depending on matchup, if you're going against some magic damage dealers, you might want to rush a Spectral Cal then Triforce, like Teemo, sometimes Swain, Lissandra. And for your main itemization, you want to try to get your Triforce as fast as possible. Sometimes you might need to rush a Frozen Heart if it's a physical damage matchup. If you're going against, a Renekton or a Riven, if you rush the Frozen Heart, it makes them very difficult for them to kill you, and you don't really want to look for kills. Because you just want to try to go even in lane. You're going to outscale those champions. So you go Frozen Heart, make sure you don't die, then you're set. Because if you go Triforce and try to rush it, mess up early against some of those champions that can punish you on lane, it makes it very difficult if you fall behind. Frozen Heart or Spirit Passage, great item to buy Nasus, the extra healing. Makes really use of it with his passive and his ultimate. And then Thornmail, good item against Fiora for sure. Fiora's any champions that auto attack a lot, not really first item, or rarely second item, but sometimes you just want to rush the Bramble Vest if you're going against something like Fiora. Late game items, Randuin's, really good against crit strike stuff. If you want to run down people, split push item, Dead Man's Play. If you're feeling spicy, you could do a lethality build with Ghost Blade or Dust Blade. Try to get one shots. Stormies are also an our troll item. Not really recommended though if you're playing seriously. Iceborne Gauntlet, situational. If you're going against physical damage and you want to sort of get a budget Triforce Frozen Heart combo, so it's a pretty good item. Riven's is pretty good against Riven, pretty good against Renekton. Base stats are really nice on him. Sometimes a Moth, high magic damage team, gives you good stats. And also Bloodthirster, not a bad item if you're going raid boss mode. You go Triforce, get a couple defensive items in Bloodthirster. Just become unkillable with Spirit Visage with your passive. Bloodthirster, it's about like 50% lifesteal. Get it all up. But yeah, that's all for the items. Runes, anything else? Summoner spells. Just quickly go over this. Teleport, 95% of the time run it. Sometimes you go Ghost Flash if you want to run people down, but Teleport is must have. Flash, 75% of the time run this. It's like go over walls, it's useful. Ghost is better in run down situations where you have more room, but you end up getting kited and you gotta escape over walls a lot of the time as Nasus, and with your itemization you end up walking pretty fast anyway, so nice to have that little burst, and you can flash onto AD carries, kill them, flash over walls to escape stuff. Sometimes more useful, but Ghost is better for just more all around, just better for running down in the solo lane. And that's, rarely heal, but it's a cheese you could do. You run heal flash if you want to play really safe, but almost never. That's the, oh yeah, one last thing, the skins, gotta be spicy today. The skins, shoot, Nasus skins. Lunar Guardian. Seems it's Lunar Guardian or Infernal the best Nasus skin. I've been liking Lunar Guardian. It's the Super Saiyan skin. You just feel like you're Goku when you're using that boy. And then also options, Archduke and World Breaker. They're pretty good skins. The Pimp Cane. It's real running it down. Then World Breaker looks pretty nice. And that's it for the pre-game Nasus stuff. Now, next video I'll go over the gameplay and show you the decision making in lane, what to buy in certain situations, and just how to play the game all together as Nasus in the current meta. Now this is preseason 9 patch, and I'll be here for the next video. Thanks for watching. See you, boys.